Earlier today on ESPN, Dan Orlovsky touched on the Packers offense and broke down some plays and gave his thoughts on Matt LaFleur's play calling and the Packers scheme overall. So I want to play this short clip and then give my thoughts. Here it is from Get Up this morning.
In the big picture here, Dan, earlier this morning, you sort of perked my ears up when you said, listing the teams you could see beating the Lions this year, you included Green Bay, despite some of the struggles of Jordan Love. Show me what you're seeing.
Personnel and coaching. Number one, I love their 12 personnel package, meaning one back and then two tight ends, okay? And they do so many different things out of what I call the 4-by-1 formation. I think they do it as much and as well as anybody in the NFL. What does 4-by-1 mean? Okay, you're going to get 1, 2, 3, 4 guys to one side, and then they'll put one up there. Now, this is a PSO. What I mean by that is Jordan Love is going to have a pass option, okay, where he can peek up top, and he has a 3-level thing where you go vertical route, you go crossing route, and you go shallow. He's going to read this 1 to 2 to 3. I love that. So if he wants to read that traditional pass concept, it's absolutely viable. The second thing that Matt LaFleur does is he'll take one of those tight ends, and look what he's doing. This tight end is going lateral across the line of scrimmage, searching up for a blocker, not going downfield, and then he has the back swing out as well. So if Jordan Love doesn't like the pass concept, he can swing this ball to the perimeter and kick a screen pass out there. Guys, look at the space that is at the bottom of the screen. This is the NFL. There is so much free space to this side of the field. You kick that ball out there, and it's an easy completion that goes for a huge run. So he has a pass concept and a screen to one side.
Yeah, there's no doubt that Matt LaFleur, he's so good at creating space and separation for receivers, where some other offenses, maybe like the Dallas Cowboys, at least earlier in the year with Dak Prescott, Mike McCarthy, it just feels like teams like that aren't as creative as Matt LaFleur when it comes to the way he deploys the scheme and just basically using space and getting guys wide open.
Second thing is their 12 personnel play action game. There's those two tight ends. You got the back. We pull the guard. There's a little bit of a ball fake. Now, I love the subtlety with their route running. Explosive plays. You got to have the lines to beat it. You push vertical, and then you have Christian Watson fake, and he's going to run the rail route. And I talk about this all the time with the Packers. The pocket is spectacular, and then that space is created. Easy throw to Watson, who's become a big-time vertical threat in this offense. The second thing, this is the most diabolical run game in the NFL outside of the Detroit Lions. You're going to get again to that 4-by-1 formation, and I want to make sure everyone realizes this. When you see this motion come across, okay, that motion's going to come from behind Jordan Love. You're going to get Josh Jacobs as the snap. He's going to jab step towards the bottom of the screen as well. So you get everything flowing this way to the bottom. Jordan Love is turning his back to the defense. He's literally taking the ball, turning his back, so you as a defense have no clue what's going on. And as those guys flow this way, they take this offensive line and push blockwise, and then that tight end is going to scrape across the line of scrimmage. And as a defense, you're flowing one way, and then Jacobs is, look at that line and that blocking scheme for that offensive line. So I think for the Packers, you're sitting there going, they get really creative in their stuff. They have a play-action pass game that's very difficult to handle, if you remember the playoff game against the Cowboys last year as well. And in their run game, LaFleur, it's so creative and difficult to pay attention to.
Thought that was a great breakdown from Dan Orlovsky. I always enjoy seeing his thoughts. And, I mean, when you look at the numbers, it's no doubt the Packers still have one of the best offenses in the NFL. 8th best scoring offense, 4th in yards per game, 4th in yards per play. And a lot of that does have to do with Matt LaFleur. We saw it when Jordan Love went down, how good the Packers offense still was with the way that Matt LaFleur strategized and deployed the Packers running game with Malik Willis in there. Malik, of course, also played really well. But as I was listening to this, I was trying to think, you know, the one area where the Packers have continued to struggle the past few seasons, especially this year, is in the red zone. This year, right now, the Packers are 27th in the NFL in red zone conversion rate at 48.72%. And it's odd because it seems like when the Packers aren't in the red zone, they're able to move the ball pretty effectively, and they're one of the best offenses in the NFL. And as I was thinking about it, I mean, obviously, when you get to the red zone, there's a lot less space to work with. And one thing that Matt LaFleur is so good at is creating a ton of space for his receivers, creating tons of, misdirection and space in the running game. And it feels to me like because Matt LaFleur doesn't have as much space to work with in the red zone, he doesn't seem to call plays that are as successful. It's just sort of the reality when you look at the statistics. And the biggest difference is the running game. The Packers have the the 4th most rushing yards in the NFL per game. So one of the best rushing attacks in the NFL overall. 6th in rush yards per play when they are, just running the ball typically. And then when it gets to the red zone, the Packers drop from 6th in the NFL in rush yards per play all the way down to 24th. So there's a massive difference in their effectiveness when they get into the red zone. And I don't think that, Josh Jacobs, these other running backs are suddenly just, having a hard time running when they get to the red zone. Of course, the defenses, the safeties are a lot closer to the line of scrimmage. It's harder to run the ball in the red zone. There's no doubt about that. But I'm not just looking at the, numbers overall. It's where they're ranked. When they're 6th regularly, and then they're 24th. When you compare it to the rest of the NFL, they're just way worse inside the red zone. So my guess is it's because, he's not quite able to do quite as much with the other aspects of the offense when there's less space. I'd be curious to hear your guys' thoughts sort of on that. But overall, Matt LaFleur is still a great coach. The red zone offense has not been great. Last year, 17th. Year before, 23rd. Year before, 18th. So pretty average, and this year it's one of the worst. And you have to look back to 2020. The Packers were 1st in 2020 and 2nd in 2019 with Aaron Rodgers. They were still with Rodgers, after that as well a little bit. But just some interesting stats there. But still, all in all, I do think LaFleur is one of the best play callers in the NFL. And I think this is one of the best offenses in the NFL. And if they can finally figure out the red zone offense, then this is, if they can figure out the red zone offense, be like a top 15, top 10 unit, this is probably the best, second best, third best offense in all of the NFL. So those are my thoughts. If you want more Packers content, feel free to subscribe down below, and I'll see you guys next time.